Hey gamers, welcome back to NickPlays, your ultimate source for everything PlayStation 5. Today, we're diving into the toughest third-person shooters on PlayStation 5. These games don't just test your aim, they'll break your spirit, crush your ego, and make you question your life choices. We're ranking them from brutal to controller-smashing impossible, starting at number 10 and climbing to the king of pain. Let's get into it. Kicking off at number 10, Dead Space Remake. This survival horror shooter is back with PS5 upgrades that make the Ishimura terrifyingly gorgeous. Adaptive triggers make every shaky shot count, and 3D audio ensures you'll hear Necromorphs creeping up, right before they rip your face off. Pro tip: aim for the limbs or prey. The game's difficulty stems not only from the improved enemy AI and their increased damage output, but also from the environment itself. The flickering lights, the eerie sounds, and the new Intensity Director feature make every encounter tense and nerve-wracking. However, the game can be a bit too liberal with ammo drops, even on the hardest difficulty, keeping it in the number 7 spot. Next up is Tom Clancy's The Division 2, a game that combines tactical shooting with RPG elements. Set in a post-pandemic Washington, D.C., you'll need to strategize and coordinate with your team to overcome various factions. The game's difficulty scales with your progression, ensuring that you're constantly challenged as you advance. Heroic difficulty enemies melt you in seconds, and the PS5 60 FPS just lets you see your demise in silky smooth detail. The game does come with a great cover system similar to the original entry to the franchise, and it encourages players to get their guns updated and pick the best loadout for every encounter before the unforgiving boss fights make them regret their laziness. At number 8, we have Control. This game puts you in the shoes of Jesse Faden as she explores the enigmatic Federal Bureau of Control. With its mind-bending environments and formidable enemies, Control requires players to master both supernatural abilities and strategic gunplay. The PS5's enhanced performance elevates the experience, making it both visually stunning and challenging. The game's difficulty lies in mastering a wide array of powers and effectively using them in combat. Finding and hurling objects at bosses, or tearing chunks of stone from the nearby wall, is essential for defeating them and progressing through the game. Control is also notorious for its sudden difficulty spikes, which can sometimes stall player progress, even if that wasn't always the developer's intention. Resident Evil 4 Remake takes the 7th spot. This reimagined classic not only preserves the intense survival horror elements of the original, but also introduces new layers of difficulty. With more aggressive enemies and revamped mechanics, even seasoned players will find themselves tested in this thrilling experience. Leon's nightmare is meaner on PS5. Adaptive triggers make every shotgun blast kick like a mule. One of the most notable changes in the remake is the removal of the stand-and-shoot limitation from the original game, granting players newfound mobility in combat. However, this freedom is balanced by a revamp of the enemy AI, making them more aggressive and intelligent. Additionally, there are also just more enemies that Leon has to deal with in any given scenario. In professional mode, good luck surviving the village mob without crying. Deetres to TI, imbecile.
Hero boy.
Coming in at number 6 is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Grounded mode turns Seattle into hell. Enemies flank, listen, and outsmart you. The PS5's haptic feedback makes every arrow draw tense, until a bloater rips you in half. Thanks for the trauma, Naughty Dog. In Grounded, enemies are relentless and have near-perfect aim, and ammo drops are extremely scarce, making slipping past the enemies not just encouraged but sometimes a necessity. This difficulty also suits the game's narrative the best, as it draws similarities between the desperation of the player's survival with Ellie's harrowing quest for revenge. The newly added No Return mode in the remastered version further challenges even the most seasoned players, pushing their skills to the limit in wild custom combat scenarios, ranging from invisible enemies to Molotovs raining from the sky.
I didn't think they weren't.
Jesus!
Watch out! Get the tires!
Don't let them get away!
Go! Go!
Get him!
Red Dead Redemption 2 secures the 5th spot on our list. This open-world Western immerses players in a richly detailed environment where danger lurks around every corner. The game's realistic mechanics and challenging combat require players to think critically and act swiftly to survive in the unforgiving frontier. After a robbery goes badly wrong in the western town of Blackwater, Arthur Morgan and the Van der Linde gang are forced to flee. With federal agents and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing on their heels, the gang must rob, steal, and fight their way across the rugged heartland of America in order to survive. Not just a cowboy sim, the PS5 60 FPS patch turned shootouts into ballet. If ballet involved getting headshot by O'Driscolls. Want 100% completion? Say goodbye to sunlight.
Get them! Get these bastards off me! Let's get the hell out of here! I got unfinished business! Trust me, Morgan! Trust you? Look! They're sending the whole brigade! And it's too good! Oh, now,
At number 4, we have Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. This mech-based shooter demands mastery of deep customization options and tactical combat. Players must experiment with various mech builds to tackle overwhelming boss fights, making it a challenging and rewarding experience. The games take the mech series' signature combat to new heights, offering a steep learning curve that rewards careful planning and execution. The difficulty arises not just from higher enemy HP or fierce attacks, but also from how much preparation the player puts into the fight. Armored Core 6 requires players to experiment with various mech builds to determine the best setup for each situation. Customize your AC, then watch it get shredded in seconds by bosses that laugh at your build. The PS5's 4K visuals just makes the explosions prettier.
Rank fits the bill. Call sign. What?
Days Gone Remastered takes the third spot on our list. Set in a post-apocalyptic open world, players control Deacon St. John as he battles both human and zombie-like threats. The game's dynamic weather system and unpredictable enemy behavior add layers of difficulty, ensuring that players remain constantly vigilant. Surviving Oregon's hordes on Survival 2 difficulty is insane. No fast travel, limited ammo, and PS5 60 FPS lets you count every freak or tooth as they eat your face. Deacon's bike? More like a death trap. Experience the epic journey of former outlaw biker Deacon St. John as he searches for hope and a reason to live in a land surrounded by death. Faced with desperation, betrayal, and regret, you must fight to survive for the ones you love.
All right, where did you hide your bunker? I know you got one.
This is still the United States and to defend it. Sure, we took this land from the Indians. No point in rewriting history, but we took it by force. And force is the only thing that will move us now. A bunch of bullies.
Coming in at number 2 is Remnant 2. This Souls-like shooter offers procedurally generated environments and relentless enemies. The game's cooperative play encourages teamwork, but even with allies, the challenging combat and unforgiving mechanics will test your limits. As a class-based game, Remnant 2 offers a lot of builds, but it also doesn't lock a certain class out of certain engagements. Every class can win against all bosses, and it's more about the player's skills. Just like Souls games, players must learn and remember the pattern of attacks by each boss, parry the attacks in the meantime, and remain patient throughout the battle. This roguelike shooter is sadistic. Procedural levels, one-shot bosses, and PS5 co-op lag that'll get your squad wiped. Apocalypse difficulty? More like apocalypse therapy. And finally, the hardest third-person shooter on the PS5 is Returnal. This roguelike shooter places players in a time loop on an alien planet, facing relentless enemies and constantly changing environments. With its punishing difficulty and permadeath mechanics, Returnal demands precision, adaptability, and unwavering determination. Housemarque's roguelike is controller-breaking hard. Enemies bullet hell spam, bosses demand pixel-perfect dodges, and the PS5's 3D audio makes every death sound personal. The game's ever-shifting environments and unpredictable enemy placements keep players on edge, ensuring that every run feels unique. Its combat system demands quick thinking and sharp reflexes, while the need to adapt to different weapons and upgrades ensures that Returnal is not for the faint of heart. Beat Act 3? You're a legend or a masochist. So squad, how many of these have broken you? Smash that like button if you've beaten at least one, and comment which game deserves the top spot. Subscribe and hit the bell for more PS5 pain. I mean fun. Stay sharp, stay trigger ready, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.